Hey, Malcolm.
How you doing?
You know, you've been around the league, you've had the experience, and you come to a championship-ready roster. What was it like for you when you found out you were becoming a Boston Celtic, and what does it feel like now, being so close to the start of the season?
I mean, I was excited. You know, I think Brad Stevens gave me the option. The Pacers did me really well. They gave me the option of picking between a few teams, and I picked Boston because I want to win. You know, I want to win. It doesn't matter if I'm six man. You know, whatever role I'm playing, I'm gonna accept and I'm gonna thrive in it and embrace it. Because I want to add on to what this team has. This team has a great unit, great chemistry. They're on the verge of winning a championship, as we saw, and they need a little bit more. So I want to come and add on to what's already going on here.
You came to this team, came to this team with the expectation of playing for Ime Udoka, and now you're playing for Joe Mazzulla. How does that change anything with your approach, and just what's that process been like for you to have gotten that news and you know, be here at this point?
For sure. You know, I think it's been difficult for everybody. I think adjustments are being made for the players, I think for the coaching staff. You know, being a new guy, of course you have expectations, but being a new guy on a team, which I've done before, going from Milwaukee to Indiana, you sort of got to go with the flow and figure it out as you go. And for me, my approach never changes. It doesn't matter, you know, what situation I'm thrown into. I'm a guy that keeps my head down and I continue to work and make sure I'm prepared, make sure my mind is right and my body's right so that I can perform.
Since we're in the PA shirt, I'll ask about this. Situations like the Sarver situation, this Ime Udoka situation, do you feel like the Players Association should have some role in, you know, significant things like this that impact the overall feeling or the overall view of the league?
You know, I think the PA is evolving. I think we're taking strides. I think it's difficult right now while we're negotiating a CBA. You know, it's something of great magnitude to step into a situation like this as well. But you know, I think only time will tell if the PA should step into situations like this. I think these situations, you know, as we've seen now, are handled by the organization, and even the league hasn't really stepped in a lot. So I think the PA has sort of stayed out of the way, and time will tell if they start to step in and, you know, really have a say on these situations.
Malcolm, when you look at the talent in this backcourt with you and Marcus, Derek, Peyton, what kind of identity do you think that you guys can build together?
I think we can be the best defensive backcourt in the league, for sure. Offensively, I think we can be great. So, you know, I think we got guys like Jason and Tatum, Jalen and Jason that make the game easier for us, that take the pressure off of us on both sides of the ball. But those guys' roles are to lead this team on offense and to score the ball and to be the monsters they are. And our job as the backcourt is to make it easier for them to defend when they need to focus on offense and be great defensively and support them offensively.
Malcolm, Joe talked a lot about building trust, healing in this moment with you guys. What's it going to take to get to that moment where, you know, you guys move forward from this? And what's this week been like, just communicating with your teammates through the process where, you know, the coach you think you're going to have coaching this year isn't going to be?
Yeah, you know, I think it takes honesty. I think we all have to be honest about where we are, you know, and where we want to go. You know, I think it's definitely a time of adjustment, a time of change right now, but that happens in the league. This isn't new to any organization that things change, things happen, and everybody has to adjust. But you got to be honest during that process, and because honesty, I think that breeds sort of collectiveness and moving forward together as a unit. You know, having Joe in here as the head coach now, I think he's going to have to rely on us and lean on us, and we're going to have to do the same with him, and we're going to have to really come together.
Malcolm, you brought in for primarily what you can do on the court, but now this team is faced with some off-the-court challenges. Do you think you might actually have to play even a bigger role now because of that situation?
You know, that's up to Joe. I'm gonna leave that up to the coaches. I'm gonna be prepared for anything. I've been in the league now for 7 years, and I've played all different types of roles. When I was in Milwaukee, I was a fourth, fifth option playing next to Giannis, arguably the greatest player in the world. When I got to Indiana, I was a 1-2 option. Me and Domas were the top 2 options in Indiana. And now I'm coming here where they have their guys. So it's about figuring that out. It's about relying on the coach to put me in the best spot, and then it's about excelling in that spot.
Hi, over here, thank you. Can you share some early impressions of Joe? What meetings you've been able to have? What sort of communication, whether it's personally or from a team standpoint?
He's honestly an incredibly impressive guy. Joe, I think, is only 34 years old, but he's incredibly disciplined. The first thing I pick up on Joe is he's in there with me lifting. I'm one of the first guys in the gym. He's in there with me lifting every morning. He's a guy that is so detail-oriented. I am like-minded with people that are detail-oriented. They care about the small things, the little things that get them through the day. I do these breathing exercises with the balloon in the morning before I lift, and he came up to me immediately when he saw me doing them, was like, I do breathing exercises, and started explaining the theories behind them and sort of the psychology of thinking about it. So he's a guy that's paying attention to everything. He's a guy that's incredibly locked in and intelligent. And then I've heard from the players. The players respect him and love him. His ability to put together scouts, I heard, against Miami and against a few teams last year in the playoffs, were brilliant, and he's gotten that reputation around the league as well as I've talked to people. So I think he's a guy that's ready for this opportunity and is going to thrive in it.
Final 2 questions. First one from Gary. Malcolm, I think you played for 3 coaches in Indiana, so you know what coaching changes are like. How big of a deal actually is that for players who might not act like they really react much to anything? And then in this situation, how specialized is that? And would you probably need to take guys and kind of explain to them about kind of these situations when you have to play for a new guy?
Yeah, I think it affects everybody, whether or not you're showing it or not. It's impactful for sure. When I was in Indiana, we started with Nate McMillan, then we went to Nate Bajorgen my second year, then we went to Rick Carlisle my third year, and the style of play was drastic every single time. So it matters for sure. But I think it's the vets, the leaders, the top guys on your team that are the ones that have to sometimes adjust the most, but also have to be the ones that guys can lean on and talk to, and have to sort of be even kill through chaos. And a guy like me that's had 7 or 8 coaches in 7 years, I mean, it's been a lot. There are going to be times where I think guys are going to have to lean on me and sort of watch how I just ride the wave. Sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to keep your head down, continue to work, because there's going to be change. It's inevitable in the NBA. It's inevitable in life. And you wake up another day and you get through it. But I think we got young talent on this team. But guys are also becoming vets. I think Jalen and Jason are in that stage where they're becoming vets, and but they're still young. They're young superstars. So to have change like this, it's going to be huge for them. It's definitely going to be big, but they've already gone through a little change from Brad to Ime. So I think they're going to be ready. I think they're going to be prepared, but in those times of doubt, I'll be here. I'll be here to talk. I'll be here for guys to lean on me, and we're going to get through this.
Final question.
Malcolm, what are your conversations with Marcus Smart been like? He talked about the playoff run last year, just the identity of this team. Just what are those conversations overall been like?
Marcus is one of those guys, whenever I play him, we always say what's up after the game. And then since I've gotten here, he's been great. He's been terrific. I think people build up a feud between us about, they're bringing in a point guard, yada, yada. At the end of the day, me and Marcus are going to be on the floor a lot together, playing together. Me and Marcus have different strengths. We're going to work really well together. And we're both really competitive and are going to push each other and help each other. And as far as our conversations, they've been great. Talking about the identity of the team, but more so just trying to get to know each other before the basketball, because that's a lot of the time more important. Knowing someone before you can really get into the details of the game. So I've enjoyed being around him.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.